Can we ask Mary Beth Bowie to come to the stage, ladies and gentlemen? One of the great soccer stars the province has ever produced. Have a seat and watch what some folks had to say about you, okay? Here's Mary Beth Bowie.
Leave it to a sister to sum up Mary Beth Bowie perfectly in a single sentence.
In a time now where we're really preaching about women being strong and being the lion, Mary Beth's kind of always been the lion. She just goes after it.
Going after it led Mary Beth Bowie to heights few women have reached in Canadian soccer, and that tenacity left indelible imprints on her teammates.
Whether she was patrolling the flanks, bailing out a teammate with a thumping tackle, or besting decade-old fitness benchmarks. She seemed unstoppable out there. She just always had energy and would come to the rescue whenever a teammate tired. She was there to cover for you in an instant.
She was, and in the years that followed, always the player you wanted on your team, in the locker room, and on the pitch. She was tenacious, passionate, loyally committed, and led by example in her words and actions. In essence, for so many of us, she was the type of player you not only wanted to watch and emulate, but definitely did not want to have to play against.
One time we were at the track doing a track workout, and she could always meet me in the quick, fast stuff, the stuff that really meant something for soccer, but we were doing longer distances this time, and I was beating her. And she gave it to me because she thought I was pulling up at the end, and she's like, if you're gonna do this, you gotta really give it. So that just was in her all the time.
Now, desire by itself is one thing, but Mary Beth combined it with skills that few could match.
She was highly skilled, had a fantastic first touch, and had the ability, even at the international level, to change the course of the game through a precision pass or putting the ball in the back of the net herself.
From a very young age, Mary Beth's talent was evident. She was eager to learn, passionate about the game, and played with confidence, ability, and poise much greater than her years.
And now, years later, her story is one from which young athletes can learn so much.
She had the passion for something, and then she backed it up with a lot of hard work, going after it day in, day out, whether people are watching or not watching. It was always driven from that place of loving it, but then she went after it too.
What other young soccer players can learn from Mary Beth's story is to work hard and chase your dreams, and no matter what team jersey you're wearing, give it your all, remember to smile along the way, and enjoy the experience.
And despite the fact that she was extremely gifted as a soccer player, it's her tenacity, her charisma, her flat-out likability, and leadership on the soccer field and off it that made her a tremendously valued and special teammate.
Mary Beth Bowie, one of the greatest Nova Scotia-born soccer players of all time, and our newest inductee to the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame.
Nice, huh? To present the plaque, we'd like to welcome the Senior Director of Scotiabank Centre, Mr. Grant McDonald, and we hope this works. We're taking a chance, but I'm feeling good about it. To present the pin, I want to welcome two very young soccer players, Annie and Kaya, who are Mary Beth's daughters. You know, someday you're going to have to explain to them who that man was in the photo.
Yeah, I was thinking Could have got my husband up here. We could have had our Christmas photos done.
Should have sent me an email.
Yeah.
Tell me about, I love a lot of your story. A part I really love is the image of you as, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old at the soccer fields behind Creighton Park Elementary School, just giving it to boys, right? Just taking it to them. Tell me what you remember about that.
Well, I remember being a tomboy and wanting to play with the boys and be one of the boys, and they always included me, and as well did my older brother Mark. He used to let me play with his friends, and they were 6 years older with me. I still don't know why he let me do it, but it certainly laid the foundation for what came next, for sure.
Amy, who was the captain of Team Canada, Suzanne, who was a great player, your sister, all mentioned this one word, tenacity. Yeah, where did that come from, do you think?
Well, I think that there's another word that they could use, but out of politeness, they use the word tenacity. But I certainly am competitive. I think it's both my best quality and can be my worst quality at times. But it's just something that's inside of me, and I compete with my teammates and the other teams, of course, and I compete with myself more than anybody. So it's helped, but it's certainly been tough on people at times.
Well, you know what? You admit this too. You were sometimes tough on teammates, right?
Right, yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah.
In what way?
I guess a lot of times it was when, I wasn't always performing my best, and I wanted them to push me more, and I just wanted to compete. And, I could let my frustrations out, but it didn't matter if it was a practice, a run, my husband will tell you, playing board games, I just want to win all the time. So, yeah, so it just sometimes gets the best of me. Yeah.
Right. The video we saw in that was from the 1999 Women's World Cup at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. You were playing Russia there. Can you tell us what it was like? Because your family's in the crowd, and you start that game, which is an amazing thing for a player from Nova Scotia. Tell us what that was like.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to start that game. I think the person who was supposed to start was Savannah Bertini, and I think she was injured. And I'd actually worked out the day before thinking I was going to be on the bench the whole game. But, I mean, it was kind of a out-of-body experience. I was only 19 years old, and but it was certainly helped to have my family there, and I think my 2 younger sisters were there, and a couple other Nova Scotians. One of my former coaches, John Kehoe, came down, and he actually had a Nova Scotia flag. So that certainly helped to deal with the overwhelming atmosphere of Giant Stadium.
What's the biggest thing, because we got kids out there tonight,
Yeah.
what's the biggest thing young kids, yours included, can learn from your story?
Well, I think the competition thing, always to compete. And I think that there's going to be ups and downs along the way, and you have to take control of the situation as much as possible. Sometimes coaches are going to get it wrong, but there's no point in dwelling on that. You can only take responsibility for yourself, and I think that's a lesson I learned in soccer that's helped me, in every facet of life.
Didn't your mom teach you that lesson?
Oh, for sure. My mom is like the toughest person I know, and she has 5 kids, and we were all in tons of sports, and she never complained, and she certainly taught me that at a really young age, and through example more than anything.
Tenacity runs in the family, huh?
That's for sure.
Yeah, listen, Mary Beth Bowie, ladies and gentlemen, our newest inductee.